Myself, Dr. Priya Vashne. I am a gynecologist and fertility specialist practicing in Gurgaon. So today we are going to discuss a very important diseases of the female, that is polycystic ovaries. Nowadays we are getting many queries about that disease. A lot of patients are coming up with the same disease diagnosis. They came with the self-diagnosis that we are diagnosed with polycystic ovaries, what we should do. All are having a lot of questions in mind about this disease. So first, before diagnosing yourself as a polycystic ovaries, we should first understand what is this disease. Every female should know about this disease, as it is very common in our Indian population. So today I will tell you in brief about this disease, and if you have any queries or questions about that, then you can ask in the comment box. I will try to cover those questions after the end of this session. So, what is polycystic ovaries? This is the main queries of all the patients and all the females. How if I am diagnosed with polycystic ovaries? So first, understand there are two different diseases or two different situations. One is polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is known as PCOS, and second is polycystic ovaries, that is known as PCO. So there is a lot of difference between these two diseases. There are many women who come with the ultrasound report and says that we are having PCOS, and what is our cure and what is the treatment solution for that. So first understand, you should, PCOS is not a self-diagnosis. You cannot diagnose by your own or by a ultrasound for a polycystic ovarian syndrome. So whatever we are covering in this talk is PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So if we tell about in a common layman, the difference between these two is that PCO is only a disease of ovary. That is, if the ovary has multiple cysts on appearance in ultrasound, it is known as PCO. Whereas the PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, is a disease of whole body. That is, if it is associated with generalized hormonal disturbances, it is known as syndrome and it is called as PCOS. So the both of the terminology should be different, and you should be aware about these terminology before diagnosing your disease, because the treatment of both of the disease are different. So you might have PCO, but you might not have PCOS. So we will be discussing about what is PCOS in our next 20 minutes, and I will try to explain you in a common layman that what you should do when about what you should be knowing about that PCOS. So how frequent is it? Like people say is that every woman or every woman is coming up with the PCOS. So what is the incidence and what is the occurrence of this disease, and can it affect all the ages? So PCOS is very common disease in our Indian population. 1 in 5 women is diagnosed with this disease, and it is very common at all the age groups are affected, starting from 16 years to 45 or premenopausal age group. Yes, it is not common or less common in postmenopausal women, but it can affect any of the age groups. So all the ages are equally affected with this disease. The second thing is that I'm actually trying to cover the the queries of about this disease people have. So the second is it dangerous to have PCOS? So if we talk about in a medical term, it is per se not a very dangerous disease. It's not a cancer or something like that that you should be scared of. It is just a hormonal disturbance that can be controlled by your medicines or by some lifestyle changes. So per se it is not very dangerous to have a PCOS disease. So, why people have some queries? Why did I had PCOS? Am I born with this disease? So, if we say about the causes, or what is the etiology, or what is the cause of this disease? So, it is mainly, the exact cause is unknown, but what we have is a genetic predisposition. That means the women who have their family history of their mother or sister of this disease can have increased chances of having PCOS in their lifetime. But per se, it's not like that, that if the family member is not having any PCOS, and the daughters and the sisters can have a PCOS also. Plus, there is, what is the main etiology is that there is in a body there is a hormone known as insulin. You must be aware of about this term insulin, that is also we used in diabetes and all. So in body there is a resistance of this hormone insulin, and due to which in our body there is excess of male hormones, that is androgens, and due to which the female hormones get decreased, and there is a difficulty in ovulation. There is an excess of male hormones, due to which the patients have symptoms of all those male hormone symptoms. So the basic etiology is genetic, and second is the in body there is a hormonal imbalance, which we describe as excess of male hormones and decrease of the female hormones. So what these hormones normally does, these hormones normally what inhibits what we call as the process of ovulation in the body. That ovulation is the process which determines the fertility, or by which the egg is released. So due to this hormonal imbalance, the body is not able to release the eggs, and hence ovulation does not occur, and hence the various symptoms of PCOS occur. So next come, what are the early symptoms or signs of PCOS? Like, when should I visit a doctor, or when should I suspect myself to be suffering from PCOS? So if we talk about, there are various symptoms or varied symptomology of this disease. Number one, it is having menstrual disturbances. The patients are having either amenorrhea, that is no periods for long time, skip periods for long time, that periods occurring on 2 or 3 hours after 2 or 3 months, and or patient may have oligomenorrhea, that is scanty menstruation. The second symptoms may be that due to there is an excess of male hormones, the patient might have excessive and unwanted hair growth, that too in male pattern, like excessive hair growth in facial hairs. They can have a hirsutism, what we call in medical language, and they can have a excessive hair over their belly, abdomen, and any parts of the body where they should not have their hairs. So the third is, maybe they might have excessive acne in their face, or oily skin. They are more prone to all those acne and these things. So this is the third symptom. The fourth, they might have difficulty in conceiving also. Means because there is no ovulation, the patient is difficult. There may be difficulty in pregnancy also. And last but not the least, they might be obese, but they might be thin also. So we can have both the variant of the PCOS. So these are the mainly symptoms of the PCOS if we talk about. And if you have these symptoms, and if you are considering yourself as a candidate who have these all symptoms, then you can show to your doctor. So what the next questions, I am just looking at the questions. I will try to first cover all those topics in my talk, and the last, if I'll see that if there is any question left, I will try to answer that. So the next is how can we diagnose PCOS? Like, how will we come to know that we are having PCOS? These are all the symptoms. First and foremost, I am telling you that there is no single test which can diagnose a PCOS. Like, if you say that there is a one single test you want to do to diagnose the PCOS, no, it is not. So this is mainly diagnosed by your doctor. It is the diagnosis is made by a different types of combination of different types of your test. Like, we first take your symptoms. The second, we do some hormonal test. What are those hormonal tests? We do your hormonals on day 2 or day 3 of your periods, like some female hormones and some male hormones. Female hormones is FSH, LH. The male hormones are testosterone. Then we do normally insulin hormones, and we check the insulin resistance. So these are the hormones which normally recommended to check the hormonal imbalances. So second is the hormones. The third is your ultrasound appearance. That is, we do an ultrasound of your ovaries to check whether the ovaries are of polycystic morphology or not. That is, in look they are looking polycystic or not. So by combining these symptoms, we have some diagnostic criteria in our society, like we call as Rotterdam criteria or NIH criteria. So by combining all these things, we can achieve your diagnosis whether you are suffering from polycystic ovarian syndrome or polycystic ovarian disease. Yes, PCOS and PCOD are same. That is, it is a syndrome which affects your whole body. But if the polycystic ovaries are simple, your ovarian appearance on ultrasound. Okay, so ultrasound can only detect your polycystic ovarian morphology, but in general, your all the tests, your blood test, your symptoms, your ultrasound, if we combine everything, then only we will make a diagnosis of polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, so next is what is it? Is it curable or not? The people have in the mind that this is a great disease, and I just wanted to know whether it is curable or not. Yes, if we say about that completely curable, it is not. Yes, it is not completely curable. Like, you cannot change the appearance of your ovaries on your ultrasound. Like, you cannot change your appearance of your facial structures or facial features. But yes, we can control your hormonal disturbances or hormonal imbalance. We can check on your hormonal imbalance. We can give you some medicines to control that. We can treat your symptoms whatever you are having, and we can control your hormones by doing some lifestyle modification. So don't worry that it is not curable. It can be perfectly controlled by medicines or by lifestyle modifications. Some people also have a doubt that I was not having PCOS in my lifetime, then suddenly how come I have PCOS now? Or it was there initially and now it is not there. So one thing you should aware of, that many a times the PCOS is just diagnosed only when you get your ultrasound. Sometimes a patient get ultrasound for any pain abdomen, and when we get the ultrasound report and we see that it is we are having polycystic ovaries. So it is absolutely normal to have polycystic ovaries in your lifetime in any ultrasound of reports. But if you are having symptoms, whatever I have told you along with that, and if your hormones tests are also deranged, then you should be taking the treatment for that. Simply ultrasound report of polycystic ovaries does not warrant you taking a treatment for that. So this should be very clear in each and everybody's mind, that they should not be scared when they get the ultrasound report of a polycystic ovaries. Yes. So now what next is that what I should take precautions, or what I should do when I am having a diagnosed with a PCOS disease. So the 80% of the treatment lies is determined by the patient itself. That it is your 80% effort to control that disease and 20% effort of a doctor to control that disease. So if you have been diagnosed with a PCOS, the main and important thing is the lifestyle modification. What does it include is, you have to control your diet, number one. Number two, you have to keep on doing exercises, or you have to keep on doing the workouts, and you have to control the weight. if you are obese. But in some patients, in thin patients also the PCOS is there. So there also you have to keep on doing the exercises and all. So what about the diet modification? What diet you should take when you are having PCOS? In diet, you have to avoid all junk foods, all high carbohydrates foods, or high calories food. That is, if we talk about high calorie foods like all junk, pizza, burger, pasta, cold drinks, all those stuff you have to avoid. And you have to take a healthy protein full diet, not of carbohydrates diet. So that is one important thing that you should take when you are considering the diet modification. The second is that exercises. You can include any of the exercises or workout regimen in your lifestyle. Like you can do walking, you can do jogging, you can do swimming, you can do yoga, you can do workouts, you can do cardio, anything you can do, but you just has to add one workout in your lifestyle. And third, but for another three, just don't have stress about that, because it is a very important thing that just if you are stressed about the disease, the things will get aggravated. This is the what you can do, that is in your hands, and this is what you can do to control the hormonal disturbances along with this disease. Even 1 kg of weight loss decreases or control the hormones by 50%. So if you can reduce, you have to keep a weight target. If you can reduce your weight by 10 to 20% in a month, it will definitely improve your symptoms. The second thing is that what the doctor can do about the treatment of this disease. The doctor can do is that they can, we have a sort of medicines which we give it to control the hormonal disturbances. We first give some medicines known as metformin, that is also used in diabetes. So many patients are scared that these medicines are used in diabetes, why you are giving it, but it also controls the hormonal disturbances associated with PCOS. The second thing is that we control the symptoms of the patients. That is, what is the problem she is having, we control that. That is, if she is having menstrual irregularities, we give medicines, hormonal medicines to control that. If she is having excessive hair growth, then we give medicines to control that. If she is having acne, then we give medicines to control that. And if she is having infertility or difficulty in conceiving, then we give medicines to control that. So the treatment of the disease is by symptom based. You have to treat the symptoms whatever the patient is having, and accordingly you can treat the symptoms. You can per se, you cannot just cure the disease as such. Clear? So these things one should be clear about that treating the symptoms and treating lifestyle modification is very important in the treatment of these diseases. So next is that, can a woman have difficulty in conceiving while she is having PCOS? Yes, this is a very common cause of infertility or difficulty in conceiving. Why? Because I already told you that when there is a PCOS problem, the egg normally which the ovaries have multiple eggs in the lifetime, and during one cycle one egg got released. So after in PCOS, what happened, due to hormonal disturbances, the normal egg does not grow up, and then it does not lead to ovulation, and hence there is a difficulty in conceiving. So you might have a difficulty in conceiving, and what is the treatment for it? And I told you about the initial thing is that first and foremost thing is the lifestyle changes, and secondly we give medicines for ovulation inductions, like is for inducing the egg in your ovaries, and we give it some medicines. If it is not controlled by medicines, we give some injections. If it is still not controlled by injections, then we follow the advanced infertility treatment procedures like IUI and IVF for that. So yes, if you have or being diagnosed with polycystic ovarian disease in your adolescence or in your early reproductive age group, then yes, one important point is that you should first consult a doctor before delaying the child. Patient of PCOS conceive, are there any pregnancy complications? If the patient of PCOS who is having PCOS has been recently conceived, so yes, if a patient of PCOS conceives, there are studies which say there are more risk of miscarriages in this woman, and they can have diabetes during pregnancy also. They can have altered sugar profile during pregnancies. So a PCOS woman should visit to a doctor as soon as she conceives, so that necessary precautions and necessary medicines can be given to deal up with the complications during pregnancies.